as like we study on human reason. Many of you may remember, many of you may not, that quiet Candace, no more singing, I'm teaching now. So many of you may not remember, many of you may remember, I told you when you first came to this ministry, the Bible is the study of man. That's what the Bible is. It's the study of man, but it's in essence, it is the redemption of mankind and the reconciliation of mankind, all mankind, that is the souls of all kinds of men, back to the Father. Elect a certain people he has selected and chosen out of society, out of the social environment. That's society, where everybody socializes, and out of the social environment he had determined before the foundation of the world to select and to save, to preserve a certain group of people for themselves, for himself. And what he saves in them is their minds. He does not save their bodies. He saves that which he breathed into them. God formed man, formed. Man is a tripartite, three-part being. He had a three-part existence. He has a three-part nature. He's body, soul, and spirit. God formed man from the dust of the ground, breathed into him the breath of life, the spirit, and man became a living soul. Man is body, spirit, and his soul. We that you see today, we that are sitting in these chairs, out of 23 chromosomes of our parents, that's all the body is. Nothing special. You're looking at Jimmy Lee and Rosalie, whatever your father, your mother name, that's who you are. But within, inside the body, it is something that came out of the mind of God, and it is called image. It's called icon in the New Testament, tessalium in the Old Testament. That is the person. The person you're looking at, sitting in front of you, behind you, you're looking at me. That is not the, quote, person. You're looking at a body. That's what we see now as bodies. We have never seen the actual, the active, actual act. The act comes from within. Act, active, actual. You have never seen the actual, the person that acts upon the body, that moves the eyes, that moves the body, that moves the eyelids, that moves the finger. That person you have never seen before. That person is invisible. So we worship God in the invisible. Prayers to the invisible. Obedience is to the invisible, not to that which you see. So I told you a long time ago, the Bible is the study of man. What God reveals to us is all the nature, and what God reveals to us in his word is the nature and the characteristics, the attribute, how man is up under the power of human reason. So what I did last week, I went down, I wrote down all the terminologies that I can find for human reason. We still seek to protect human reason. That's what we seek to protect. When I say we seek to protect, we is the soul that wants to protect and save human reason. We love human reason. We love our old nature. We, the soul, loves the human reason. The soul, which is the person, loves the old nature. That's fallen man, fallen nature. That's old nature and sin. We love that person. Many of us protect it. We love it. Don't want you to say nothing about it. He don't allow anybody to speak against him, to say nothing about him. When he says something stupid, he tells you, don't let them correct me. You take up for me. Don't let them correct me. And we do it. We don't understand human reason. So I wrote down the terminology of human reason. It's called the flesh, natural man, the old man, outward man, the heart, not a new heart, the heart. Not a new heart, the heart. Because when I say heart, many of us think that the heart that I'm talking about is the new heart. No, When I want you to understand new heart, you must say new heart. It's called the kainos cardia, K-A-I-N-O-S, new, fresh. Not the old heart. That's the heart. The kainos cardia, fresh, new. Kainos cardia. That's the new heart. That's the kainos cardia. It's the new heart, not cardia. The cardia. Terminology of human reason. The flesh, natural man, old man, outward man, the heart, the carnal man, sin, devil. Human reason is the devil. Human reason is, a devil. Human reason is a devil. Human reason is a devil because it distributed forces to the soul. Human reason is a devil because the devil, the human reason, distributed forces to the soul. Self, corrupt man, natural brute beast. Human reason is a natural brute beast. Beast, human reason. Man of the senses, rational autonomy, self-sufficiency, unaided reason, prompter and agent of natural theology, mistress reason, the devil's whore, man's achievement, human brain power, independent footing, quaking morass. Morass means a swamp, a quaking swamp of insubstantial. If it's non-substantial, I mean it has no foundation, there's no faith in a human reason. Insubstantial. Now faith is the substance. Human reason is non-substantial. No substance, no foundation, no understanding, speculation, quaking morass, a swamp of non-substantial, nothing to stand on. Speculation, man's rational comprehension, own preconceived ideas. These are terminologies of human reason. Make man into God, his proud man, the sinful self-sufficiency, himself the measure of all things, measure everything by human reason. Blindness of his corrupt heart, low estate, the symbol, fool, our own reason, our own perceptions, our thoughts, our judgment, our own inclinations, judgment and reason of men, thoughts of the flesh, his own understanding, understanding of his own flesh, their imaginations, our own root. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. These are just some of the terms that are used in society, in the Holy Scriptures, by godly men for human reason. I want to open tonight, we're going to be reading in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 out of the pulpit commentary on human reason. I told you guys that human reason was evil. That's what human reason is. And we're looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I hope you still got your hand out to foul in the temple, because that's what we're going to open up with tonight. We didn't finish it, so we're going to finish it tonight. The foul in the temple. We're going to finish it. We do it the other night. I told you we was going to finish it tonight. But I'm going to read something out of pulpit commentary on worldly wisdom and humanity is the temple of God. That's what it says in 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 is what we've been dealing with. I'm reading this as pertaining to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. This is our human reason night. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse number 16 and 17. 1 Corinthians 3, chapter 16 and 17. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. Now, you guys should have read this at least 2 or 3 times, so you should understand what destroys the temple of God. Now, I'm going to say it. Now, if you say it, you ask someone, I can tell you what, give me the answer. So we should know what destroys the temple of God, right? Who said yes? Who said what destroys the temple of God?
Human reason.
No. No. You didn't. You read this. You didn't get it. So the rest of y'all don't know because you didn't answer. What destroys the temple of God is the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of men. What destroys the temple of God is the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of men. What are you looking at me like that for, Van? Tell me the truth. Why did you look at me like that?
No, I didn't say that. It's true what you're saying.
Well, I know, because I want to know why you look at me like that. You look at me like, what? I want to know why. I want to know what was going through your mind when you looked at me like that. That's what I'm asking.
If I had read it,
That's what I asked you then. I asked you, what destroys the temple of God? If you read 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse number 9, all the way to end number 3, like I asked you, all it talks about is the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of men. Politics destroys the temple of God. Education destroys the temple of God. Let me read to you what it means, because we're still not understanding what it means. And as I said before, don't need I told them, the Bible is a study of man.
What?
Particularly, it is the redemption and reconciliation of the soul back to the Father, a select fruit out of society that He chose before the foundation of the world. Nobody can tell me about man. All I have to do is read the scripture. I know mankind, because that's all the Bible teaches about is mankind, the ways of mankind, all kinds of men, including you too. You are no different than those that live in the BC age. As a matter of fact, you are worse, because they didn't have drugs, they didn't have TV, they didn't have the modernity that you have today. So you are worse than Old Testament Israel, so you can know that right now. They didn't have the luxury that you have. They didn't have the modernity that you have. So you are more evil than they was. Remember, evil men and seducer wax worse and worse. So those of the first century wasn't as worse and wasn't as evil as you are now, and steadily are becoming.
Amen.
Amen.
So understand that. You are much more evil than Old Testament Israel. Don't you ever forget that. You are more evil than those people were in any time of their life. Don't ever forget that. Remember, Paul made that statement, evil men seduce yourself, wax worse and worse before you was born. Don't you ever forget that. Don't ever exclude yourself from nothing. You worse off than they were. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I know I am. Like I told you, I believe everything that the scripture says about me. I believe everything. That is what I am. The only reason I'm what I am today is by the grace of God. So man has nothing to boast and brag about. Nothing at all. Nothing to be proud of. Nothing. So I want to read you about humanity, the temple of God, out of 1 Corinthians, out of the pulpit commentary. And I've been telling us this for a long time, but the Bible is. It says, know ye not that you are the temple of God, that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. The apostle is writing not to those who were spiritually perfect. contrary, those who were characterized by most salient moral defects. Yet he says, you are the temple of God. Let us therefore look at man as a divine temple, the temple of God. In what respects a temple? Talking about man. He is a special residence of God. God is in all material objects, but he is especially in moral mind. It's called conscience, in case you don't know.
What?
He is a special manifestation of God. Man is a special, his soul is a special manifestation of God.
Yeah.
God is seen everywhere in the world, but never so fully as in the mind of man.
Mm-hmm.
We are all his offspring, and we are like the Father in essence, conscience freedom. He is a special meeting place with God. The temple at Jerusalem was God's special meeting place with man. There will I commune with you. He communes with us in the temple. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God? Man can meet with God in material nature, but not so fully and consciously, C-O-N-S-C-I-O-U-S-L-Y, as in mind. The temple at Jerusalem was God's special meeting place with man. There will I commune with you. Man can meet with God in material nature, but not so fully and consciously as in mind. The highest study, I told you guys this a long time ago, the highest study that you can do in society, the highest study of mankind is man. You can't study no higher. The highest study, you can't study nothing in this world higher than studying mankind. If you want to know mankind, all you got to do is read your word. He is stupid. He's a brute beast. He's corrupt. He's a quaking morass. His man is a swamp. He's just like a swamp. He's the devil's whore. He think he has independent footing. He think he's sufficient of himself. He don't need nobody. He's a pitiful creature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The highest study of mankind is man. You can't study none higher than that. You can't study none higher than that. That's what this book is. It's a study of mankind. Now, I've been saying it for many years, and this is the first time I've read it, 2020. I've been saying it for many years, Ronnie. I've been saying it for many years. That's all it says, a study of mankind. I tell you about man. Oh, yeah, you in here. Oh, yes, you is in here. It's a study of you. Doesn't tell me nothing about you. I know what you will do and what you won't do and what you're capable of doing. The highest study of mankind is man as a divine temple that might be destroyed. If any man defile, destroy the temple of God, the destruction of a temple does not mean the destruction of all the temple parts, but the destruction of its use, how you use the temple. Man might live forever and yet be destroyed as the temple of God. The special residence, manifestation, and meeting place of God. That's where you meet man at in his temple. That's why he told us we are the temple of God. That's the meeting place for God. He's not going to meet you in Kroger's. It ain't coming in your bedroom. Keep telling us that. Meet you in your mind. He meets you in your conscience. That's where God meets you in. Man might live forever and yet destroyed as the temple of God, the special residence, manifestation, and meeting place of God. Now mark, this destruction, if it takes place, is not by God. He will not destroy the temple only by or through man. If any man defile, destroy the temple. Whilst men are destroying this temple, that is, destroying their natures as the temple of God. An awful work this is. As a divine temple, the destroyer of which will be destroyed by God himself. Him shall God destroy. Destroy, if not his existence, all that makes existence worth having or even tolerable. He that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. The temple of God is holy. That is ideally holy. Ought to be holy. Then he talks about verse 18 through 20. Let no man deceive himself. If any among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. That's how the temple is destroyed. And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. Therefore let no man boast in man. For all things are yours, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas, that's what they was doing, boasting in man, or the world, or life, or death, or things present, or things to come. All are yours, and ye are Christ, and Christ is God. That's why I told you read all the way. That's who's it all about. It's all about Christ. No man at all. It's not about your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your children. It's all about Christ. He's all in all. He's the one that did everything. Without him, we wouldn't even be here today. Worldly wisdom. As many get offended when I talk about their education, which is ain't nothing. And I've been telling you guys that. Your education don't mean nothing. Your pedigree, where you come from, don't mean nothing. Your 401k, your job don't mean nothing. The money you got in the bank, the house you got, the raggedy car you driving, don't mean nothing. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. Ethan tricked Cleo. Cleo had on the hat, and the hat said, old school, old fool. Ethan came to Cleo and told Cleo, you not no fool. Why you wearing that hat? Cleo being a fool, listen to that little fool, make a fool out of him. So Cleo say a fool, a little child, anybody, he can learn anything from anybody. I didn't say nothing. Didn't say a word. Everyone passed a couple of weeks. God exposed him in the jail. Me and him talking back and forth about a fool. And this guy would say, what? Yes, you do. He said, yes, you do. You got to be a fool. Because we think we know everything. Unless we become fools, we cannot learn the word of God.
Amen.
He said, that was revealed to me. But he just started talking. You would have thought he had been sitting in the narrow of those things. You'd have thought that brother was a member of the narrow of those things. And that's what our problem is. We don't want to be fooled. We don't want to be called a fool. Paul said we are fools for Christ in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 10. You got to become a fool because you think you're wise already. That's why I say you got to become a fool. Because all of us in here, many of you in here really think you're real smart. But you're a fool. You're stupid. You're stupid. Stupid means doesn't hear it. You don't obey, doesn't hear it. You're stupid. I'd rather be a fool than be stupid. Stupid means you're dull or ignorant. To be ignorant means lack of knowledge you can learn. But when you're stupid, you can't be taught nothing. You're a brute beast. You're just stupid. I mean, you're stupid. You're stupid means to be dull of hearing, dull of obeying, thick-headed. Can't nothing get through. Mind like a steel trap. Just can't tell you nothing. Many are like that.
Yeah.
You're super stupid. So it said, let no man deceive himself. What are you going to deceive himself with? The wisdom of the world. And I've been telling y'all that. He deceived himself with the wisdom he gets out of the world. I'm going to say it one more time, because we don't understand that. He deceives himself with the wisdom he gets out of the world. The world tells him he's smart. You got 100 on your test. You made A's and B's in college.
Yeah.
You was valedictorian. That make that man that deceived that man to make him think himself something when he's not. Let no man deceive himself. Let me read to you what this means. If any man among you seemeth to be wise.
Right.
Seemeth is the word dokeo. That means suppose or to think. You think you wise. You suppose you wise. You presume you wise. You assume you are wise.
Right.
You not, but you just presume. You assume.
Right.
You think. You dokeo. You not wise. You just seem to yourself that you wise, but you not. That's why I say that. That's why I say, if any man among you, based on the condition, you think you wise. That's what it means.
Right.
It's saying you ain't wise.
Right.
You just think you wise.
Right.
Understand what it's saying?
Right.
Understand what it's saying?
Yeah.
You think you wise. That's why I say based on the condition. It is a conditional word. And it's a based on the condition. You think you wise. You better become a fool
Yeah.
that you may become wise. Because you deceive if you think you wise. If any man among you seemeth, and that's what I keep telling y'all about. I can teach on seemeth all the time because a lot of y'all think y'all wise.
Okay.
You suppose you are wise.
Right.
You just know everything.
Right. Right. What?
You know how to handle all situations, all circumstances,
Right.
any event that come up. You got knowledge about it. You can tell everybody how to do things. You know the right way to do something. Any situation, any event, you know the right method to take. You know the process, what should be carried out. You just know every damn thing.
Right.
If any man
Right.
among you, he's talking to all the Corinthians.
Right.
That's what Paul is talking to all them carnal Corinthians. They was carnal minded. They was under the power of human reason, and they thought they was wise. He said, I could not speak to you as spiritual because you were stupid. You couldn't hear. You weren't ready for it yet. And they thought they was wise.
Right.
If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. For the wisdom of the world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he takes the wise in their own craftiness. That would be your education. That would be the training on your job. That would be your reputation in the neighborhood. That would be the upbringing in your home when you was little. The culture and the environment you came from. Make you think you're wise. That's foolishness for God. What you learned in Mississippi, Van, I keep telling you that's foolishness. What you learned in Glenn when your mom and daddy was here, they wasn't out of town and all of y'all was in that house. That was foolishness, Cleo, I'm sorry. What you learned in the military, Cleo, was foolish. I'm sorry, Marita, your education is foolish. Real estate, foolishness with God, JD. Stupid. Foolishness with God. I'm sorry, Ronnie, the little engineer degree or whatever you do. Whatever you know, it's foolishness, man. It don't mean nothing. With God, it's foolish. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own education and their own craft. Don't you hear it say craftiness? Don't you see it, man? They put up C-R-A-F-T. See it say craft? Take you in your own craft.
What?
Take you in your own craft.
What?
You know what a craft is? You know what craft is? He take you in your own craft. Make you look like a fool in your own craft. That's foolish. Your craft is foolish. I told you, y'all guys need to stop paying attention to this word. He take him in his own craft.
Young nose.
Because that craft lift you up, make you think you somebody. The craft will make you think you somebody. The craft will make you forget God, Ronnie. The craft makes you forget God, Ronnie.
Right.
The craft is what lifts you up in pride. Craft.
Right.
Shh. Craft means strength, power. Kids in German, strength or force. Skill, twist, turn, basic sense cramping of muscles during exertion or strength. Craft, a special skill, art, or dexterity, an occupation requiring special skill. So you go learn and train for that special skill. He take you in your own special skill. He'll take you in your occupation. So that occupation make you think you're wise. That occupation make you go around the most and say, I'm better than that man, I'm better than that woman. I know more than they're on the board here looking at all my certificates. I got A's and B's and C's when I was in college. I was valedictorian. I got this certificate, I got that certificate. He take the man in his own occupation. What is written, he taketh the wise and their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, the thoughts of your teacher, the thoughts of those who taught you, the thoughts of your professors.
Right.
Their thoughts
Yeah.
were vain. The wisdom here referred to that we're reading about in 1 Corinthians 3, the wisdom here referred to is what Paul calls here, the wisdom he's talking about is FLESHYWISDOM. That's foolish. It's fleshly wisdom, education, occupation, skill. That's what it is. It's nothing.
Right.
That's what he's talking about.
Right.
Talking about the devil's whore's wisdom, mistress reason. He's talking about that quaking morass of insubstantial speculation, rational autonomy. I got education. I can rule myself now. The wisdom that Paul referred to is what Paul calls fleshly wisdom, the wisdom of the world. The wisdom of human nature, the wisdom of human reason that comes out of a textbook that you learn, that's written by a man, so that you can work for him. That's foolishness with God. Slave in the mind and still don't know it. Think you're free, but just a slave in your human reason, and you still don't know you're a slave. You think you're free. That's foolishness for God.
Right.
The Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. The wisdom here referred to is what Paul calls elsewhere fleshly wisdom, the wisdom of the world, or the wisdom of the age. The wisdom of the time you live in. That's what it means.
Right.
It's the wisdom of the time you live in. The wisdom that you had in the time you live in, Cleo, foolish. The wisdom of the wisdom that you got, man, in the time that you live, foolish. The wisdom that you got in Bumblebee in the time that you live, foolish. The wisdom these children is getting out of the world and the system that they live in right now is foolish. The wisdom that you acquired, Erica, in the time you live, foolish. The wisdom you got from your mama and your daddy and your grandmama, Erica, when you was in that house, foolish, Marita. The wisdom you got from your grandmama and your mama, Cleo, foolish. The wisdom you got from the white military sergeants and majors, Cleo, foolish. The wisdom you got from that job you worked there for 20, 30, 35 years, foolish. Nothing but a bunch of fleshly wisdom. that make you think that you are wise. It make you think that you are wise. You're not. He told you that was wisdom, and it wasn't. It wasn't nothing but a bunch of foolishness.
What?
The wisdom here referred to is what Paul calls elsewhere fleshly wisdom. The wisdom of the world, or the wisdom of the time, the wisdom of the age in which you was raised. What you're learning right now, Jeremiah, what you're living in is a bunch of foolishness, man. Said it is the same wisdom in chapter 1, verse 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of the world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? That's fleshly wisdom. The wisdom of the age. That's why I say, where is the wise in his age? When at the time he was born, where's he at? He gone. So where's the scribe? Gone.
No.
Where's the disputer of this word? He's gone.
Go.
Foolishness.
Me.
The wisdom of the world may be regarded as mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends. Wisdom of the world. I'm going to put this on the board so y'all can understand what Paul is talking about. This is what Paul is talking about. Wisdom of the wisdom.
Lord. Lord.
The world. Fleshly wisdom. Mere.
Yes.
Intellectual. That's book learning.
Okay.
Mere intellectual knowledge that comes out of another man's mind into your mind. That's all it is, Logan. Mere intellectual knowledge applied. Applied to secular. I hope you know what secular means. Applied to secular and selfish ends. That's what wisdom of the world is. That's just mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends. You're going out getting an education to buy you a house, buy you a car, buy you some clothes, buy you TV. Just live for yourself. That's why it's more evil now than it was in the first century and in the BC era. It's more evil now. That's what wisdom of the world is. That's all it is. That's foolishness. The wisdom of the world may be regarded as mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends. However vast and varied in its attainments. I don't care how large, how much of it you get. I don't care how different it is. Your education from mine, what you want to attain in the world, different from mine. It still ain't nothing but a bunch of foolishness. It deceives. It is worldly in the apostolic sense. This wisdom right here, many of y'all don't really understand what you got and what you have. This wisdom right here is what James called I keep trying to get y'all up. You think your children have something? You think you have something? All it is earthly, sensual, devilish. College education is earthly, sensual, and devilish. College education is earthly, sensual, devilish. Because it's intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends. So it's earthly, it's sensual, and it's devilish. That's what education in the university is. That's what they're teaching our children in school. The education our children receive in school, the education you receive when you homeschool, is still the same thing. All education in the United States of America, in the world, period, in China, Japan, Africa, Antarctica, I don't care where you go, New Zealand, Switzerland, Sweden, Europe, I don't care where you go, Denmark, I don't care where you go. The wisdom of the world, mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends is earthly, sensual, and devilish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See?
Yep.
I don't care where you go.
Yep.
I don't care if you think you got something, you ain't got nothing.
Yep.
You don't have anything.
Me.
You don't have anything. You don't have anything. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seems to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. Socrates needed to become a fool. Plato should have became a fool. Aristotle should have became a fool. Euripides should have became a fool. Cicero, Seneca. Talking about smart men, y'all don't even know who I'm talking about because y'all don't read like that. I'm talking about some of the finest minds. Einstein.
What?
Stupid.
What?
Mere intellectual knowledge. That's it.
No.
Let no man.
Nope.
This was written before Einstein.
Nope.
This was written before Seneca. This was written before Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
This was written before these great minds are supposed to came in the 15th and the 14th century.
What?
Let no man deceive himself. Look at the date in here. This is AD 59. That's after Christ died. Those that was before Christ were stupid, were fools, and everybody that comes after. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in the world, let him become a fool. That he may be wise, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness to God. For it is written, he take the wise in their own craft, in their own occupation, in their own skill, in their own cleverness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, they are vain. The thoughts of the wise is useless and worthless. They cacas. The wisdom here referred to is what Paul calls elsewhere fleshly wisdom, and the wisdom of the world, or the wisdom of the age, or the wisdom of the time. Whatever time you live in, that wisdom was vain. It is the same wisdom as he refers to in chapter 1, verse 20. The wisdom of this world may be regarded as mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends. However vast and varied its attainment, it is worldly in the apostolic sense. It is earthly, sensual, devilish. Not like the wisdom which is from above. Everything that God has in heaven and from heaven, everything God has in heaven and from heaven, Satan counterfeits it on earth. God got a wisdom, Satan got a wisdom. God got a Jesus, guess what, Ron? Satan got one too. You got a spiritual baptism.
What?
You got earthly baptism.
What?
Everything Satan, God has, Satan has a counterfeit on earth. God got a church, Satan got a church too. God got a gospel, Satan got a gospel too. God got ministers, Satan got ministers too. Everything God has, Satan has a counterfeit of it.
What?
Best education is spiritual education. Satan say the best education is worldly education.
What?
That's a selfish education.
What?
A university education is a selfish education. A college education is a selfish education. And it's an education based on the human reason of man that he tell you is going to benefit you when all the time is benefiting him. The wisdom of this world may be regarded as mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends, however vast and varied its attainments. It is worldly in the apostolic sense. It is earthly, sensual, and devilish, not like the wisdom which is from above, which is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits. That ain't in the wisdom of the world.
Right.
In relation to this wisdom,
Right.
3 remarks are here suggested. It is self-deluding. 1, self-deluding. It will delude you. This is the wisdom of the world. It is self-deluding. That's the first thing. Let no man deceive himself. That's what the wisdom of the world do. It deceives you. It's self-deluding. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, this worldly wisdom deceives a man inasmuch as it leads him to overrate the value of its attainments. You rate yourself and your education a little bit too high. It makes you high-minded. You take your attainments that you have in the world and it makes your mind high above the wisdom of God and the wisdom of another man when y'all the same, no difference. It makes you think that you're above your neighbor. It makes the security officer, listen what it does. It makes the security officer in jail make him believe he's above the prisoner. And this prisoner is in there for stealing. And he got caught. And security officer missed. He's stealing time. He's stealing time. He's stealing affection from the other inmates, bringing in drugs and alcohol, giving them food, giving them special favors. The only difference is he just hasn't got caught. But it's education. His position and his power has deceived him and made him think he's higher than the prisoner. Both of them the same, no difference. It makes him think, it makes him high-minded. He deludes himself because he thinks his position and his power and education makes him better than the prisoner. I was watching something like that last night. I said, the security guard, he think he better than the inmate. He was acting just like him, even worse. And I'm watching. I'm watching. He's inmate. And he's acting just like an inmate. But because he had the position and the power, he abused it and made himself think that he was better. He was high-minded. Probably correctional officers like that. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, this worldly wisdom deceives a man, inasmuch as the worldly wisdom leads him. He's not led by the Spirit. He's not led by the word of God. You guys understand what I'm saying? He led by a worldly wisdom. He had to learn about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, and he had to learn 5 times 5. He had to learn mankind's assessment. He had to learn the white man's assessment of another man's mind, and then he tells you, this is how you can tell what's wrong with the child. You bastard, you can't tell what's wrong with the child. Something wrong with you. Let's talk about what you do when you go home. Let's analyze and evaluate you. God hates that. God hates that. God hates that. The worldly wisdom deceives a man inasmuch as it leads him to overrate the value of his attainments. He gonna talk about the book, gonna talk about it. I've been telling you about it. I'm just validating, showing you what they agree with me, what Paul was saying. He imagined that this kind of knowledge, wisdom, is everything for a man. See, I don't need nothing. I got education. Did you hear what I said? No, you didn't. I say it again. He imagines. What does he do? He human reasons. See, I told you you didn't hear what I said. He imagines. That's the self-deception. His human reason. He imagines. It's not real. It's in his mind, Ronnie. It's in his imagination. It's not real. It's not real, Ronnie. He just imagines it's real. He in a cartoon world. It's not real. He just imagines it's real. He imagines. Did you hear what I said? He imagines. Human reason. He imagines. He presumes. He sees it. He assumes. Because it's attainment in the world, he assumes. He imagines that this kind of knowledge, wisdom, is everything for a man. Hence, the enthusiastic promotion. What promoted him? What made him imagine that he was above somebody? His attainments in the world is what promoted him, not God. He promotes himself. He imagines. That's why I told y'all to read that on John Gill about Timothy being a youth. Did you read it, Glenn? You didn't read it? See what I mean? See what I mean?
Yep.
Human reason.
What?
Human reason.
What?
Human reason.
What?
He can't say he ain't got no excuse.
What?
Because I fixed his laptop after he had broke it. He broke the laptop.
Right.
God knew I was going to tell him to read it just to show him his human reason. Show him how lazy his soul is. Show him how slothful his soul is. He's lazy and he's slothful. And his human reason told him, don't read it, forget about it, it's not important, do something else. And he listened to his human reason.
What? What?
His soul listened to his human reason.
What?
That's what his soul did. His soul listened to his human reason. His human reason is ruling his soul. His human reason is ruling him. And it's deceiving him.
What? What?
So did y'all read it? Who read it? You read it, Carol?
Yes.
How old was Timothy, Carol?
I read, was it first?
How old was Timothy, Bumblebee?
Okay.
I didn't see his age.
You didn't say the age, Carol? Jenny, how old was Timothy?
I didn't read it.
There you go. Human reason got her too. Same thing.
What?
You read it, you read it, you
What?
read it, all right?
What?
Human reason got you too.
What?
Human reason got you too.
No.
I told you go on and read. How old was he?
What?
Cleo?
About 25,
He was about 23, 25 years old. How was Paul?
about 30.
About 30, 35.
What?
But the knowledge, the wisdom, that's why I tell y'all to read. Jim Brown has, he said,
What?
a young man that age should be preaching and teaching.
What? What?
That's why I teach on human reason. That's how human reason told. You don't need to read it. Forget about that. That ain't important. And you listen. Your soul listen. That's exactly what happened. No more, no less. That's exactly what happened. Human reason overpowered each one of y'all souls that did not read it.
What? What?
That's what happened.
What?
You know I forgot, and just human reason told you there is something more important that you can do than that. That's what happens.
What? What?
That's why I'm teaching y'all on human reason.
What?
That's what happened.
What?
No more, no less. That's what happened.
What?
Then it tells you, tell them why I didn't remind you, tell them what I had to do. And you say, but then the reason why I did it, I was going to, and that's human reason too. I'm trying to teach you human reason.
Amen.
Human, the only one got it, I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to show you. Human reason is the only one. Human reason is rebellion. And the soul follows the human reason. So it got to take account for it. Human reason ain't gonna feel nothing. Human reason don't hurt. Human reason ain't never embarrassed.
What?
Human reason don't never feel bad. Old nature don't feel bad. Rational comprehension, own perceived ideas, that don't never feel bad. What feel bad is the soul. What's embarrassed is the soul. Not human reason, he's gonna get you again.
What?
Because you didn't stand up on your watch. You didn't pay constant, continuing attention.
What?
You don't pay constant, continuing attention, especially when you think you're wise.
What?
He got you. So he didn't get you.
What?
He got you too.
Yeah.
Y'all that didn't read. Told you go home and read. Well, number about what? Half a page was it?
What?
About what? Paragraph? What? That's all it was.
What?
Wasn't even a whole lot.
What?
If that. Maybe about, if I can see it right now, it couldn't be more about 10 sentences.
What?
You run your book? You got your book? Home?
Yes.
No, you ain't got it.
Good,
It's Gill. You ain't got that. It was in Gill. You got Gill? You printed it out?
Yes.
You got the printout with you?
Yes.
Let me see the printout. Oh, you did tell me you printed it out, didn't you? Trying to get y'all to understand what human reason is.
What?
I didn't know I was going to ask you that tonight. Just ask. I just said, when I get to Thursday night, I'm asking. Because I get it. You ain't got to get up. You ain't got to get up. Yep, you got it. Told you it was 23. He's on 25. Timothy was now a young man. Let no man despise your youth. Timothy was now a young man. Some think he was about 3 to 20 years of age. Jim Brown said, man, that age ain't got no business preaching. That ain't what Paul said. But he might be older, yet be so called. Saul was said to be a young man when he helped the clothes of them that stoned Stephen, when he must be at least 30 years of age. Some say 35.
What?
Since 30 years after that he styles himself Paul the age, when he must be 60 years of age and upwards. That's Acts 7:58. Young men are sometimes honored by God with great gifts. Who is Jim? To tell somebody that God ain't honored him with a gift. Wisdom of the world. That's what it is.
What?
That's what it is.
What?
Who is Jim Brown to tell a young man God have not honored you with a gift? Who is he? Young men are sometimes honored by God with great gifts for youthfulness, both in church and state, as Samuel, David, Solomon, Daniel, and his companions. Nor should they be despised on account of their age, when they have gifts suitable to their office and behave well in it. But on the contrary, ought to be esteemed for their work's sake. And such should take care that no man has an opportunity or reason to treat them with contempt on that account. It's because they're young. The apostle says is either that Timothy, being in office, should not suffer any man to use him disrespectfully. Timothy got to see to that. Timothy, that's a command, a charge you get from God. See to it that no man uses you or disrespects you because of your youth and the office and the gift that God has given you. You see to that. The apostle says either that Timothy, being in office, should not suffer any man use him contemptuously, disrespectfully, but exert, put forth, exert his power and authority, magnify his office, and not allow men to trample upon him. And see, y'all be thinking that's preacher up there, that's that man. No, that's wisdom of the world. I'm not letting no man come in here and walk all over me, no man, no woman, no child.
Right.
No, no, I'm gonna disrespect me.
Right.
No, I'm gonna disrespect the office.
Yep.
If you don't appreciate the gift, you don't have to be here.
No.
One thing you're not gonna respect more than anything is the office.
Yeah.
You're not gonna disrespect the office of pastor. Many of you don't know why I would not allow no one to disrespect the office of a pastor. It's been disrespected in the world too many times already. Because the office of pastor has become the wisdom of the world. You get your pastoralship from above. Instead of it being, Erica, a gift from God, and then it can be seen and manifested outside of worldly education cannot make you a pastor. Many of them gave their life for this office I hold. That's why, Erica, I won't let no man disrespect it. Paul gave his life for his office. My Lord, my Savior gave his life to set up this office. So I'm not going to let a false teacher come and disrespect the office, let alone a goat or a so-called sheep. Disrespect the office when my forefathers in the spirit have given their life for this office. Understand what I'm saying? See, many of y'all don't be understanding what I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It's the office. It's the place that has been established by my Lord and my Savior Jesus Christ. You will not disrespect this office, which my Lord set up for the salvation of men. Well, I'm about ready to run. No, you will not. He set this up for the salvation of men. This is what I want you guys to be understanding. And many, with the wisdom of the world, thinking this is some mere intellectual knowledge applied to secular and selfish ends for me. They don't want to respect the office of a pastor. Want to treat me just like treat me earthly, sensual, and devilish, like I just come out of doggone cemetery school. But on the contrary, ought to be esteemed for their work's sake. Such should take care that no man has an opportunity or reason to treat them with contempt on that account. The apostle says either that Timothy, being in office, should not suffer any man to use him. Any man. That means wife, daughter, son, and any man. Care who it is. Mama, daddy, sister, brother, any man. Because wisdom of the world teaches you any man is any man outside your family. No, any man is any man. See, any man teach you, wisdom of the world teaches us any man outside the family. No, any man is any man. Wisdom of the world teaches us any man outside the family. Sister, brother, mama, daddy, child. No. The Bible's wisdom teaches any man, period. See, it's two wisdoms there. Either that Timothy being in office should not suffer any man to use him contemptuously, but exert his power and authority, magnify his office, and not allow men to trample upon him or use him ill. Though he was a young man, but since suits with the preceding words, or rather his meaning is, that he would have him so conduct and behave himself as he had taught him to behave. And the house and church of God is so fill up his place and office, and live such an exemplary life and conversation that there be no cause for any to despise his age or him on the account of it, and disagrees with what follows, but be thou an example of the believers, the members of the church, before called brethren, from their relation one to another, here believers, from their concern with Christ. The object of their faith is Christ. The object of your faith is Christ. The object of your faith is Christ. Your faith is in Christ. That's the object. That's what you believe in. That's what you adhere to. That's what you trust. That's what you lean on. Nothing else. Nothing else. If you incline and you lean and you believe it on anything else but Christ, you don't have faith. For there is one Lord. One faith. There's only one Lord. And it ain't your human reason. It ain't the wisdom of this world. It ain't your education. Yeah, that don't deceive you. Your Lord ain't your craft. That ain't your craft. That ain't your Lord. Your occupation ain't your Lord. That ain't what rules in your life. The position and the power you have in society. The position you have on the job. The position you have in school. The position you have on your job. That's not your Lord. Your supervisor not your Lord. Many of you scared of your supervisor. Your supervisor is your Lord. Your bosses is your Lord. And you know they're your Lord. Your occupation is your Lord. Your skill is your Lord. That's what rules your life. Because when it comes to a choice between Christ and that occupation, you choose that craft. You choose that job. You choose that supervisor. You choose your money.
Right.
When it comes to making a choice.
Right.
So I can't do that, oh Lord.
Right.
Members of the church before called brethren for their relation to one another, and here believers from their concern with Christ. The object of your faith is Christ. A more honorable character cannot be given of men. A more honorable character cannot be given of men. Treated with great disrespect in this age of infidelity. Had no respect for the preacher at all. The Mohammedans would engross this character to themselves, calling themselves the believers. To be a believer, don't you know that's privilege? I'm going to teach y'all that. Y'all don't know what privilege y'all have. Being under the doctrine and the teaching of predestination and the sovereignty of God. Y'all really don't appreciate your privilege. You don't understand how privileged you are. That's what he said. And to them he gave exousia. He gave privilege.
Right.
The Mohammedans would engross this character to themselves, but to them only it belongs, who believe in Christ unto righteousness and life everlasting. Now sometimes young men may be examples to older ones. That's in obedience. I'm teaching you nothing. And all that are in office in the church, especially in the ministry, whether old or young, should be examples to the flock. And that in the following things. You can be an example in word, meaning either the word of truth, the doctrine of the gospel, which I just said, by delivering that which is according to the rule of God's word, showing in it uncorruptness, gravity. Gravity means sincerity and diligence. Sincerity, soberness, sound doctrine, and by holding it fast, all which made for the imitation of others, to receive the pure doctrine and retain it. Rather this may respect common discourse, which should not be corrupt, filthy, nor foolish, but soon should be always with grace, seasoned with salt, should be gravely serious, wise and true, pleasant, profitable, and edifying. Wisdom of the world. You think your attainments in this world, you're going to tell us that here as soon as I get down to it.
Right.
What that does is deceive you. Knowledge deceives you. Education deceives you. Attainments in the world will deceive you and lead you astray. It make you think you something and you ain't nothing. $2. Make you think you something, it deceives us. The craft, your occupation, the skill you have, the trade you have, it deceives you. This worldly wisdom deceives a man in as much as it leads him to overrate. He overrates. That's called high-mindedness. He overrates his attainments. He imagines It's not real. He imagines that this kind of knowledge, what knowledge? Wisdom is everything for me. Hence the enthusiastic promotion of secular schools and colleges. That's what I've been telling y'all this. That's exactly what I've been telling you. What you thought I was just trying to make you feel bad? You thought I was just trying to make you feel bad and embarrass you and your children? And you know, it's in the book. The wisdom of the world he's talking about is schools and colleges. He's talking about Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, the Greeks. I told you that. The Jews seek a sign. And that Greek, he seeks wisdom. What do America teach? America is a Greco-Roman society. It seeks wisdom. Gentile, Greco-Roman, half Greek and half Roman. It's a Gentile. It's Japhetic. That's what it is.
Barbaric.
That's all it is.
What?
Teaches you how to be a good barbarian. Just dress up, act like a barbarian. Don't act like a barbarian. Act like a Christian. But in your heart and your mind, you're a doggone barbarian. Act like a Christian. But in your mind and your heart, you're a barbarian. That's what this society teaches us. It teaches us to be hypocrites. Everybody's a damn cheater. Baseball cheat. They ran them little black boys in the doggone ground a couple of doggone years ago when they said they cheated in the doggone World Series when Chicago won. They ran them little black boys to the doggone ground, embarrassed them boys like that all over the United States, took the trophy and everything from them. You didn't take nothing from the Houston Astros, all them hunkies and them doggone hunkies down there in Boston, New England, where they cheated and won the World Series at. That's wisdom of the world. This society is a cheat. All you can do, you can cheat, you can steal, you can kill, just don't get it. That's all it is. Those black boys won the World Series. Ran them boys to the ground. Stripped them and everything. Stripped them everything. Got the trophies, talked about them like dogs. What about the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox? They won the World Series. One of the white folks mad at it. See, white folks mad at white folks. See, and they don't provide them money, fight them. All of them cheat. They cheat in everything. America just a cheater. It's a business. Cleo talked to me about but Trump trying to run America like a business. He don't understand. What was America founded upon? Business. What business? Slavery. Thank you very much. It's a business.
Thank you.
Cleo talking about that Trump don't understand. He's trying to run it like a business. That's what it is. He's just keeping it real.
That's all.
He's just more open with him.
Yes.
They've been quid pro quo since this country started. It was built upon quid pro quo. Y'all don't remember I told you Ethan Allen? I said, Ethan Allen, y'all go down there and fight, we'll give y'all this land. They went down there and fight to get Ethan Allen done. Ethan Allen came back wanting to kill all of them. I told y'all that. What do you think the Constitution of the United States is? Quid pro quo. Wait a minute. What did Kennedy tell you? What did Kennedy tell you?
Ask not.
Thank you, Jay. Tell him, JD.
Ask not what your country is.
What you do for your country.
He said, ask not. Did he say what, JD?
Ask not.
Ask not. Don't ask what the white folk can do for you. Ask what you can do for the white folk. That's the wisdom of the world. What you say, JD?
We were assets, now we're liabilities.
Oh,
When they owned the slaves, they were assets because they ran the lands, they ran all of those farms. But the moment that they said that they were free, now they're liabilities because now they have to share in the wealth
That's
of the
belief.
country. And that was not what the plan was. when
What you
they-
say, Jenny?
That was not what the plan
What you
was.
say, Jenny?
That was not what the plan was when they wrote the Constitution. None of that was supposed to happen.
plan? What no
Good,
plan?
good,
What no plan for you?
good.
The use. Hey. There wasn't no plan for you to have no promotion in no secular school in college. They told you no education. What they plan?
It was supposed to be cattle, period.
Yes, you best believe it.
Bible don't read.
He imagines, self-deluded, worldly wisdom. Let no man deceive himself. Hence, if any man among you, if any man, white man, black man, red man, any man, Erica, Jim Brown, Dennis Rogers, Ray Mason, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, any man among you seemeth to be wise. Boy, you better become a fool so I can teach you something God said. Don't make no difference who the man is. White man, black man, China man, Indian, any man. Your mama, your daddy, your any man seem to be wise. Walk around here high-minded. Because you got intellectual knowledge that you apply to your secular and selfish end. It don't delude you. That's earthly, sensual, and devilish. That's fleshly wisdom.
Right.
It's not going with you.
Right.
When your probation period over,
Right.
when your privilege run out, you got privilege now. But your privilege gonna run out because it's appointed unto man once to die. Then we're gonna see what your college education do for you then. Because it's appointed. It's appointed. You ain't calling in and telling them you sick. You sick so you can meet your appointment. Can't tell them you got a headache. You ain't got to tell them ain't nobody here to watch the children. You got an appointment. Ain't no I don't feel like it. It's appointed. If any man among you seem to be wise in this worldly wisdom deceives a man in as much as it leads him to overrate the value of his attainments. He imagines that this kind of knowledge, wisdom is everything. He imagines that this kind of knowledge, wisdom is everything for man. Hence the enthusiastic promotion of secular schools and colleges. But all such knowledge is of no value to man as man. Beyond his brief and uncertain earthly life.
Right.
He deceives himself in its value. That's how he deceives himself, Ronnie. He said, an high estimate upon it. It lifts him up. This worldly wisdom deceives a man inasmuch as it leads him to overrate his own importance. I keep telling people, you're not important. I've been telling y'all this. You're not important. I told Ronnie this all the time. I said, Ronnie, you was only important to your children for their. And that's what I just told you, Mama. I was only important to Rose, to Demetrius, to little Dennis, and my ex-wife for secular. Because if they can make it on their own, as if they did, you got the hell away from them.
Yeah.
That's why you find anybody in your life, that's why, Cleo, that's all it is. That's all it is, Carolyn. That's all it is. Secular and selfish ends. Your intellectual knowledge is benefiting them. And they don't become high-minded and above based on what you know. And that's a shame, man.
Yes, it is.
And then call yourself a man. That's a shame, man.
Yes, it is.
Your secular and selfish end, Ronnie, is being fulfilled by somebody else's intellectual knowledge. Now that's deep, man. Not yours. You ain't got none. You ain't got no intellectual knowledge. But your secular and selfish end, you don't delude yourself because you earthly, sensual, and definite. With your fleshly will, they stealing, ain't they?
Yeah.
Stealing time from God, ain't they? God said a man don't work, he don't eat, don't. He's stealing time from God, and he's stealing the affections of God's people, ain't he? Yes, you is, you're a thief. I'll be ashamed of yourself. But they're not, because you're self-deceived. He deceives himself in its value, his education, his college, his secular school. This worldly wisdom deceives a man as much as it leads him to overrate. You think somebody needs you. You think they can't make it without you? He is vainly puffed up in his earthly mind. And what kind of mind? His sensual and his devilish mind. His earthly mind is earthly, his sensual is devilish. He is vainly puffed up. As Paul says elsewhere, Colossians 2:18, such a man imagines himself to be very great. He becomes a pedant. A pedant. Well, what is that, preacher? I don't know what a pedant is. He becomes a pedant. You know what that is, preacher? You don't be doing that. You know we don't want them big words. He becomes a pedant. What is a pedant, preacher? I don't know. Let's find out together, okay?
Yes.
Look at a pedant. He becomes a pedant. What is a pedant? A person who puts unnecessary stress on minor or trivial points of learning, displaying a scholarship lacking in judgment or sense of proportion. He's stupid. It means a narrow-minded teacher who insists on exact adherence to a set of arbitrary rules.
What?
What's the origin, preacher?
What?
French, pedant, schoolmaster.
What?
Italian, pedante.
What?
Greek, pedagogy.
Okay.
Person who puts unnecessary stress on minor or trivial points of learning. How about the law? How about the law? That's the Jew, ain't it? Did it?
Yes.
He put unnecessary stress on minor and trivial points. Did it?
Yes.
You can't light a fire
On the Sabbath.
on the Sabbath day. Can't rub two sticks together. Can't go this. You can't do this. That's what they do. That's America doing.
What?
Yeah, it is.
What?
It is spiritually worthless. The wisdom of the world is spiritually worthless. A man with this worldly wisdom must become a fool that he may be wise. Two things are here implied. That with all his wisdom, he is already a fool. That with all his wisdom, he's already a fool. He is a fool, for he looks for happiness where it is not to be found, in the world. Happiness does not spring from man's brain. Happiness don't come from human reason. I told y'all that. That's what Luther said. That's what Luther said, human brain power. That's what Luther said it was. That's what Luther said. Paul and Luther must be cousins. That's what he said. Human brain power. That's what Luther said. Well, yeah, Luther. There you go, Luther. It says, because it seeks to snatch from God a knowledge of himself which is not his gift, but man's achievement, a triumph of human brain power. Thus it will feed man's pride and exalt him above his correct creator. It deceives him. It deceives him. Happiness does not spring from a man's brain, but from his mind, from his heart, not from his ideas, but from his affections. Moreover, he is a fool because he practically ignores the chief good, which is love for, resemblance to, fellowship with the great God. What is that? Moreover, listen, he is a fool because he practically, in his practice, ignores the chief good. The chief good is love for, resemblance to, fellowship with the great God. What is that, Ronnie? What is that, Cleo? Thank you very much. You got it. Cleo got it.
What?
That's it. It's conform to the image of God. That's what that is. You're right. The key word you heard was resemblance, money. That's right. That's what it is. That's the chief good. The chief good is to be conformed to the image of Christ. That is, which is love for, resemblance to, fellowship with the great God that's conformed to the image of Christ. Amen, Cleo. The chief good, which is,
What?
this is it, which is, after the is, it tells you what the chief good is. Love for, resemblance to, fellowship with the great God. It's conformed to the image of Christ. That's the chief good. The chief good is to be conformed to the image of Christ. The chief good is love for, resemblance to, icon, fellowship with, right? The great God. That's what it is. God esteems this wisdom as foolishness in this world. The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The most illustrious scholar,
Okay.
the most illustrious sage or teacher,
Okay.
the most illustrious orator,
Okay. Okay.
who is considered by himself and by most of his contemporaries, his constituents, to be a man of wonderful wisdom. To the eye of God, he a fool. Every president of the United States that man voted for, what? Is a fool. Best believe it was a fool. It is ultimately confounding. It is written, he take the wise in their own craftiness. It must confound the man sooner or later. The wisdom of the world will confound you. Just keep living. Your wisdom will confound you sooner or later. Wisdom of the world will confound you. Either here in his conversion or yonder in his retribution when he died. He gave a little poem here. Who are the wise? They who have governed with a self-control. I love this. Listen to this. This is a wise man. They who have governed with self-control, each wild and destructive passion of the soul,
Okay.
curb the strong impulse of all fierce desires, but kept alive affection's purer fires. They who have passed the maze of life without 1 hour of weakness or of strife, prepared each change of fortune to endure. Changed everything in their life so they can endure. Humble, though rich spiritually. Dignified, though poor in the world. Skilled in the hidden movements of the mind. Learn in the lore which nature can impart. Teaching the sweet philosophy aloud, would seize the silver lining of the cloud, looking for good in all beneath the skies. These are the truly wise. I like that. Father, we thank you for your word. We